And speaking to the CEO of Brand Kenya, that is Mary Luseka. Many thanks for joining us. Indeed, from the various activities you're seeing across the country, it seems the country is heavily polarized. And what does this mean for foreign investors who might want to come to Kenya, but they are reconsidering?
You know, Abby, definitely this being the defining moment for Kenya this week, and the activities that we undertake between now and the election date and beyond, you'll find that investors have yet to say no to Kenya as a destination. There's still a lot of confidence that investors have. But I think with all prudence measures in place, they are waiting to see what is going to happen on October the 26th. Mm-hmm. And that is why for us, the power is in our hands to make sure that the fundamentals, which are that we maintain peace, we are able to uphold that. Because the minute we lose that fundamental, then all gains will be lost. Mm-hmm. That is really the fundamental.
Indeed, quite a huge task for your agency, that is Brand Kenya. Right now, the country is sort of divided and along political sides. And how do you think this might impact investments? And of course, our selling our country out there for people who know Kenya. When it faced the hotly contested elections in 2007, things did not end up well. Are we able to ride the storm?
I'm confident that we'll be able to ride the storm. However, this confidence can only become a reality once we have the support of the Kenyan people. And I say this because we've over time been able to shed off that reputation that we had since 2008. And you can imagine it's been 10 years. 10 years of cleaning up our image, 10 years of a lot of investment of taxpayers' money that has gone into bringing us to where we are, where foreign markets are looking at us and saying, if you want to invest in Africa, that's the place to be. Tourists are saying, Kenya is the place to be, you know? Sure. And even Kenyans themselves have confidence in their own country. They're now investing here, studying here, living here, and so on and so forth. However, looking at October 26, which is really just a few days from now, there's quite a bit of uncertainty. Uncertainty in as far as how then the brand moves forward after that. And given that we are very divided at this point in time, when I say that, I mean that on one hand, there are those who believe that it will be important for them to play their democratic role and go out and vote. Sure. And there are also those who believe that they would want to abstain from voting, which is also their democratic right. And there's really no right or wrong in that aspect. What is fundamentally important is that irrespective of whichever right you exercise, you must not infringe on the right of the other. And then, irrespective of whichever right you exercise, we must then maintain peace. That's the only way that this brand will be able to take off and continue on that path of success that it has had over the years. If we infringe on any other person's right, then that is recipe for chaos. And that is when now we begin to spiral back into what we had in 2007-8, which we must avoid at all costs.
Sure. Yeah. And finally, Mary, as an agency, what is in the horizon in terms of what strategies are you looking at, and how do you want to project Kenya despite all this uncertainty?
Yeah. Our immediate strategy has been really our Plus 254 campaign, which right now our intensity is on the social media. We know very well that during such a season, very volatile season, when people are very, very polarized in as far as ideologies and what really they stand for, the risk of fake news, having an upsurge of fake news is very, very high. And also WhatsApp groups and things being forwarded, the risk of the narrative of the country being defined in those groups, in those social media platforms is very high. So we would really want to put our energy on Kenyans and urging them on these platforms to be sensitive to the country and really safeguard the gains that we have made over the years by making sure that we do not incite violence. Because anytime you incite violence, create an environment where people's rights feel, people feel that their rights have not been protected, or they've not been given the opportunity to exercise their right, then that is really a recipe for chaos. And that's why our energy is on that. Once we transition this season, then we will go into our normal marketing programs, which means then we begin to continue the efforts we had already started of encouraging investors to continue to invest in the country, and tourists and so on and so forth.
All right. Yeah. We do hope everything will move on smoothly. Many thanks, Meryl.
We are confident. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So that has been that conversation around where Kenya is in regard to electioneering and the branding of the country.